Did you know Trepang2 isn't a sequel, but given the number since it was the second game by the developer? It's something you wouldn't suspect. Given the impressive graphics and gunplay, it asserts confidence, one that is mirrored in its soundtrack. Trepang can be very satisfying, losing you in its explosiveness. At other times, its aspirations miss the mark, where it feels that it's close to being perfect. The influence Trepang2 draws from the almighty F.E.A.R can't be mistaken. The shooting, the slow-mo, the gratuitous violence. It's all there. Yet it finds a way to expand on them by becoming faster, more arcade. Going in and out of slow-mo to deliver headshots is as satisfying as ever, but add more enemies to the mix that can be grabbed as shields and strapped with a live grenade, man, it's enthralling. Whereas F.E.A.R is more tactical, Trepang is more action, and it adapts great. These sequences are only elevated by its sound design and soundtrack. Perhaps my second favorite thing after the gameplay, the music goes hard, nearly all of it composed of metal. It will make you want to play faster, more destructive, headshots only. These feelings become the norm, making any combat segment worthy of montage. You can hear the sounds of gent, deathcore, and industrial, reminding me heavily of the band Darko. Just listen to this closing section of Furnace Tension. God damn, if I don't want to have the part on repeat, growling along to it all day. Just like F.E.A.R, headshots are king, curving the most extreme difficulty to easy as long as you can act first. With areas less confined than open in Trepang though, it isn't always simple when you're being fired from all directions. You don't have spare health kits to keep on you either. You'll need to find it in the heat of the moment, or earn your health back. When your slow-mo runs dry, accuracy goes out the door, so you may be better off seeking cover, rethinking your strategy. It can be advantageous when you can take the crisis route of for a new angle. The light stealth has proven useful to pop around corners and catch an enemy with their guard down. But it never became a habit since I do favor a direct approach, especially with an arsenal as fun as this game's. You have your expected weapon classes like submachine gun, assault rifle, shotgun. Thing is, the overtop nature of the game, combined with your abilities, enlivens them. Drop kick, slide, or even dual wield. Again, they're all given new life. Another cue from Crysis is the ability to add attachments, tuning the gun to suit you, despite only at specific points, not freely. You can only carry 2 weapons at a time, yet even the humblest of weapons, the pistol, can dispense with enemies in a single bullet, a few if adorned with the helmet. Because of its accuracy and ammo economy, I never thought of it as a placeholder, but something for active rotation. My favorite weapon became the assault rifle, a headshot monster that would unleash on an enemy in a pinch. Followed by, should I be lucky enough to find them, the grenade and bolt launchers. These two are room clearers. With the added spectacle championed in Trepang, it's nothing short of magical, chiefly the bolt launcher. Firing a 3-round burst, with each embedding themselves on whatever they strike, leaping to explosion. Still, I have so many fond memories of headshotting shield heroes, or going akimbo with vectors on reinforced brutes. Dude, it's perfection. Where the opinion wanes is in level design and structure. The first area introduces our identity, 106, that sees us escape an Alaskan prison with the aid of our former team. The place is owned by the Horizon Corporation, a world leader that conducts unsavory human experiments on the side. The team wants to bring them to ruin, and given the circumstances, something we can easily get behind. The intro level sets an impression of promise, but it begins to pivot upon arriving at our team's headquarters. Until then, I was under the assumption the game would be linear, that missions undertaken will follow more of a traditional story. Instead, they're selected from a map, with a few side ones peppered in. Tackling things at my leisure is something I can appreciate, but has the potential to create a disjointed experience, which alas, holds true for Trepang. Campaign missions are linear, and by far these are the more interesting, taking unsuspecting turns into the supernatural. It's exactly what I was hoping from a game inspired by F.E.A.R. There are some memorable moments too, such such as finding yourself in the back rooms. The thing is, it doesn't always feel like levels do a good job of guiding your attention from point A to B. I did my share of wandering. Even when you find the door or hall, it doesn't feel like something you overlooked, or more of an oversight in design. It isn't helped by places that look too similar to the one that preceded it. Environmental features are reused heavily. It contributes to a bigger problem I find with the game. I lose immersion often. I'll delve into this more later, but there is something lacking about levels, worsened by their split nature. Side missions do a little better, as they're generally arenas with a simple objective. Think of a horde mode. You'll have a leader who'll chime in disbelief that his men can't take out a single person, getting fed up and entering the fray themselves. You would think that they would be a mini-boss, harder to kill.
I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you.
Especially since they enter in the final wave. Instead though, they're just another dude. After lashing out against their men, or making sworn threats, you'll laugh when things end as soon as they start. I love that sort of thing. I just wish the process to them didn't get monotonous. Again, I like the gameplay, so dealing with enemy waves is ideal in concept. But at some point, I do begin to be taken out of the experience. I had a hard time trying to determine why. I boot up the game, do a mission, and feel like I could play something else. I didn't get it, and hoped it wasn't my disposition in the moment, or nostalgia swaying me away. Here is one of my favorites after all, but it had been years since I last played it. So, I decided to boot up the trilogy for some clarity, and damn, I didn't want to put them down. I never lost immersion. You get in the habit of rushing all the time in Trepang that it feels weird applying the brakes when the game wants you to. Since your mobility is also more limited in F.E.A.R, it allows for a more methodical combat, adding a layer of tension to each gunfight. I still cast myself like a grenade, destroying everything around me, but it ends up feeling more rewarding long term. A factor at play is that the game's levels are connected, with horror elements prompted when you least expect, creating an intrigue as to what's going on, what's up with this place. Yet when each of the 5 campaign missions are different enough to feel like unique episodes, rather than a single movie, reveals lose impact. The story may not be a driving strength in either game, but in F.E.A.R, the atmosphere around it 100% is. In Trepang, the most I got from the story were confirmations for things I suspected early on. It may keep things interesting by being more diverse in its supernatural, but they collectively don't compare to Alma. Now, I don't want to illustrate the game like it sucks. It doesn't. Hell no it doesn't. The foundation for the game is strong. Even with the issues mentioned, I'm still inclined to boot it up to replay missions. I could easily envision a patch that overhauls the Trepang experience. Nearly everything I want from a fast-paced FPS is already checked, and it has been expressed that the team is eager to work on more content, depending on how the release went. The success has been unequivocal. Even with what's available now, there's a good amount of replayability. You could go back to missions and play them at different difficulties. You can enter the combat simulator and play across a breadth of maps. See how many rounds you can survive, earning money from kills towards gear and kill streaks. Or if you truly want to let loose, enabling cheats. Some have to be unlocked. Some conditions are easy, others brutal. This brings me back to the days of gaming as a kid, so it definitely made me smile. I actually didn't spend much time with them, but I did experiment with T-pose, big heads, and NPC boosters. I didn't expect to laugh as much as I did. Well, it's time to bring things to a close. I may lose immersion after a while, wanting perhaps more of a traditional format to the game and its story, but there is a factor at play that compels me back. There is something about the game I want more of. It may not hit the mark of perfection, but like a reticle, it's just firing around the edges of its center. Maybe it's just in need of slight adjustment. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to show your support and keep up with new content, as well as dropping a like. Like always, everyone, have a good one.
Who's my favorite little psychopath? That's right, you are.